So this weekend I was coloring in one of my favorite grown-up coloring books. I worked on this Mr. Froggy right here, and I used my usual Prismacolor Premier colored pencils blended with Gamsol odorless mineral spirits, and then I used a one of those fine line Stabilo pens. You know, you can get the package of them in all different colors, and they're just a fine tip little marker, and they're not expensive, but they're nice and skinny, so it's easy to outline and bring back out some of the lines that your coloring might cover up in your coloring book. So yeah, I did that this weekend, and that was all fun and stuff, you know, like that. And then today I thought, oh, okay, I'll start on another one, you know, just work at it off and on throughout the week at odd times. And then I remembered, why don't I work on some of my Canvas Corp pages, because they have some awesome coloring book pages, and they're very versatile because they're not sold bound in a coloring book. They're just line drawings that you can color on, or you can use them, you can paint on them, you can use them on your scrapbook layouts or whatever. They're just very versatile, and I like that about them. This is one that I colored a while back. This is called Boots and Umbrellas on Ivory, and I used my Prismacolors again with Gamsol, and I think I used just some gel pens to add some black little doodlies and do some white outlining. And I really love the way this turned out. And it was so fun. And you look at it and you're like, oh God, that's so tedious. Well, I love tedious. So it doesn't bother me. But these are great just to have sitting by the couch when you're resting, you've got some downtime, or you're staring at the TV, watching a movie, whatever, and you just need something to keep your hands busy. This is the kind of thing I love to do. So I got to thinking about this, and then a bunch of these other blank sheets that I have, and you know, which are great for coloring on, but I really like a book, you know. I like myself a little journal or a little bound something. That's just me. So I started thinking how I could make a book out of these. And here's what I think I'm going to do. I haven't got very far. I started on it and then went, oh, dang, I should video in case this works. So that's what I'm doing. If this doesn't work, you will never see this. I will swear this footage does not exist. So I pulled out some of the blank Canvas Corp pages that are great for coloring books, and I got 8 of them. And what I did was just fold them in half. They come with that brand strip on top, you know, like most scrapbook pages do, where it says what it's called. But if you trim that off, then they're a perfect 12 by 12. So after I trimmed all the brand strips off, I creased them with my bone folder. Tip of the day, use the clean end of your bone folder. Okay, the relatively clean end. Don't use this end. Yeah, learned that the hard way, as if that should even need to be learned. I mean, duh. Alright, anyway, crease them down the middle so that they're now 6 by 12 is what they measure. And then I nested 2 of them together, wrong sides together. So see, I folded one this way and one this way, and then put the wrong sides together, like that. And the reason that I'm doing this is because, okay, one, it can give you extra doodle pages. When you flip through your book, you've got this situation. You can doodle on this, you can test your colors, you can do, you know, whatever. If you don't like this, you can glue these together, and then you've got one solid piece. So I did that with all of these, nested 2 sheets wrong side together, and these are such good sturdy cardstock that 2 sheets is a good signature. This is good right here. So I had my 4 little signatures here and started thinking, okay, great, that's a good start on a book. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to have to bind it. From here you can really do anything. You can staple these, you can tape them together, you can do whatever makes you happy to bunch them up so that you've got a little book here. But I was looking around my craft room thinking, okay, what do I have that I could use for a cover or something? And then I pulled this out of my little Canvas Corp stash. This is their 6x12 canvas journal, blank journal, and it comes with these fabulous canvas ties. This is sewn onto the spine, and you open it up, and it's double thickness. It's 2 pieces of canvas that they've stitched together, so they're nice and sturdy. You've got your front cover, and then you've got 2 pages in the middle, and then the back cover. Plain, simple, just waiting to be painted or embellished or whatever. So I thought, okay, the size is right. Let's work with this. Let's see what we can do. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my signatures and just kind of nest them in between the pages of this canvas journal. So I have 1 here, and I've got 4, and I've only got 3 spaces here, so I'm going to double up on this next one. I'm going to put 2 in the center. This is the center of the book. Turn a page, 1 here. So I'm going to have this situation going on, right? So there I go. I've got a cover, and I've got extra canvas pages to do stuff on. And here's what I really like about this, or what I'm going to like, I know. One thing I love about bound printed coloring books like this is that it gives you a cushion, a little bit of a cushion to work on. And especially if you're using something like Prismacolors, where you may be pressing down hard, you're putting layers and layers of different colors, and you're blending. That having a cushion behind it just makes it much easier for the colors to blend. Okay, so that is going to happen automatically in here because I've got these nice canvas pages that are going to add extra cushion, and the folded pages are going to cushion each other. This is going to be fabulous for blending if you're using pencils or something like that. So how am I going to attach it to the little canvas book here? I think I'm just going to stitch it a real simple 5-hole pamphlet or a long stitch or something. So, before I do that, let's address this, because I know this is driving some of you crazy. The pages stick out, right? Is that just making you insane? Okay, I have a solution for that. Canvas fringe. They have this in different, they have the ticking. I really wanted to use the ticking fringe, but I didn't have enough of it. So I had this blank canvas fringe that I am going to either sew or glue, or I don't know what, hadn't thought ahead that far, on this edge right here, like that, so that my little innards don't show. Problem solved. Plus, it's another opportunity for embellishment. I could put a piece of lace right here or something, and that's going to look really cute. So I'm not worried at all about that sticky outiness, because there's always a workaround. So now what I'm going to do is take this is a bookbinding needle. You can use a tapestry needle, and what it is, it has a big eye on it, and the tip is blunt. It's not sharp. So that is usually a good thing for bookbinding. And this is waxed linen thread, which you can get at your local craft store or online, and it's also really good for bookbinding. And before I do that, we got to poke holes, right? Okay, got my pokey tool, and I've already poked a few in this first one. I did kind of measure. You don't have to measure. This is more like a junk journal / coloring book. So we're not looking for perfection, but I was just feeling symmetrical today for some reason. So I took my little ruler. We got 12 inches happening here. I poked a hole at 6 inches right in the middle, and then I came over 2.5 from that one and poked either direction, 2.5, and then I came in 1 inch from the end. That's how I poked. You can poke wherever, however you want. If you just want 3 holes, you can poke 3, whatever. Now, and I poked through both of them here, but I'm going to use this one as a template to poke the rest of my pages. And I'm just going to nest it in there, line it up, and then poke through the holes I've already made. Oh, I already poked this one. Okay, look, it looks like it's just poking through real easy, huh? It's because I already poked it. Okay, let me do the other one right quick, and then we'll come back and we'll bind and we'll see what happens. Now I need to decide exactly where on the spine I want to stitch my little signatures. Okay, here's the thing. I've got one signature here, and then I've got two signatures in the middle, right? And then one at the end. So let's move in so I can explain my thought process to y'all and myself. See if this is going to work. Okay, here's my center line right here. The two signatures in the middle, I'm probably going to need to put one just on either side of that center line, right? To keep everything, you know, make sure the spine doesn't get wonky. That means my first signature needs to move over far enough so that I have room to put one more between it and the center line. Yeah? So I'm thinking if I come over maybe about 1/4 of an inch, like about there, that would give me enough room between this one and the center line to put one more. Maybe 1/2 an inch. I might come over a little bit further. I don't know. Somewhere along there. What I'm going to do is lay this out. Let's back up. Alright. Just got my one here. And I'm going to kind of line it up and make marks where I want my holes to be on the spine. And I will use something for that. How about this pencil? Yes, perfect. Okay, not going to really measure. I'm just eyeballing it. And I think this is going to look good. So here's my hole. I'm going to put a little dot right there. One by that hole. That one there. And okay, I have marked my canvas, my cover, in the place where I want the hole, and it's about even from the center, you know, doesn't have to be perfect. So now I can start sewing. Okay, I measured off about 2 lengths of thread. I did this. Okay. 1, 2. And we'll see how well that does. Thread your needle. And for a pamphlet stitch or long stitch like this, I'm sewing in each signature individually, so they're going to be, each one will be tied off, which means I'm going to have a knot and a tail somewhere, and I can choose if I want it on the outside of my book or the inside. Since I've already got this nice closure on the outside, I want mine to tie off on the inside, be hidden, so I'm going to start my first stitch from the inside. If I wanted a dangly on the outside, I would start my first stitch from the outside. So I find my hole, and then I poke it through where I made my mark. Just like that. Pull it through, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail. Okay, come back. It doesn't matter which way you go up or down, whatever. Hit the next one. There's my hole. Now put it through the hole I punched in my signature. Pull it snug. Okay, last hole. This is, you know, that intuitive up, down, up, down. This is not a fancy stitch. This is nothing to be intimidated about. You know, usually with every book, I end up poking an extra hole because I, you know, hit the wrong space or whatever. I consider those air holes, and it just gives the book room to breathe. So don't worry if you end up poking in the wrong place. Just go with it. It's fine. Go with it. Okay. There we are there. Now we're going to work our way back up. My thread might be a little short. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Okay. Go back up this way. I'll give you a close-up view on the next one so you can see exactly what is happening here. Just like that. Pull tight. Back down through the center. You don't want to split your thread. Don't go through the thread, so kind of pull it over a little bit so you can get just the hole. And this is where I usually end up poking an extra hole. Well, I think I got through the same one. Okay, working our way up this way. Here's our hole here. And through our signature. Okay, poked a whole new hole. That's fine, air hole. It's all good. Now go back through this next one. There we go. Now back through this one we've already been through. And you're back to the center. Don't go down here because then that's going to put this tail out here and you've got nothing to tie to. So there's no stitch here. There will be when we tie off. You take your two tail ends. And if you're using waxed linen, this is not difficult because it grabs hold of itself. And I just make a little, like a square knot, and then maybe one little extra to grow on. Like that. And our first signature is stitched in. Okay? Alright, I'll do the next one, and I will zoom in and maybe do it sped up, that's it. So you can see. Okay, all done. I sewed my little canvas fringe strips on the edge. Actually, I glued and I sewed. Let me show you. I just cut a piece long enough to cover my sticky outy parts, and then what I did was I put a bead of glue, just fabric glue, right along the edge of the book and glued it down. And then I went in with my sewing machine and just on this free loose edge, non-glued edge, I just did a little zigzag stitch up and down just to hold it, and I like the stitching on the canvas. So I did that front and back so my page edges don't stick out, and all of my signatures are upside down. There we go. There's my spine. Got all my signatures in. And I'm ready to color. a little canvas pad cushion in between. I'm loving this. See, now I'm just wanting to run downstairs and start coloring. I can doodle on these. Oh yeah, this is great. I think what I might do is put some transfers on the cover. That would be cool. Okay, so there you have it. Very simple, easy, handmade coloring book with Canvas Corp papers and their 6x12 canvas journal. I think that's what it's called. I'm not really sure. I'll put links down in the video description so you can find all this stuff. Oh yeah, and the ticking, or not the ticking, but the fringe. So yeah, I'll give links, and I hope that y'all will make one, and maybe we'll have some coloring sessions together. That could be fun, right? I think so. Okay, that's all. The end.